you spent a good portion of the first segment talking about the Allan Walsh tweet over the weekend with the sword through the back of Marc-Andre Fleury with the name DeBoer on it. And I didn't think Fleury – I thought Fleury was going to be more kind of getting out against the tweet and kind of going after Walsh a little bit. And I didn't pick up on that at all. I thought he kind of appreciated Allan Walsh and his support and kind of went out of his way to indicate that. What did you make of the whole situation and where we stand now with Fleury, an agent, and a cup contending team?
Well, okay, so I know Allan from the World Juniors and got to know him, as he's got quite a few clients from the Czech Republic, and so he's very helpful at guiding us as to, where you get information and tell us about this guy or tell us about that guy. He's very helpful. Allan used to be a prosecutor in the LA District Attorney's Office. He prosecuted murder cases. He doesn't give a damn. He is not worried about what other people think of him at all. And that, in my opinion, comes from what he used to do, right? He was dealing with some bad gang-related, drug-related stuff. He was dealing with some bad dudes. So this stuff doesn't even faze him. He just, he blows out a tweet and he's like, yep, whatever, and off it goes. So but in this case, and he said in the past, I'm going to defend my clients because nobody else is. That's part of my job. I'm going to defend them. In this case, he is so wrong on about 4 different levels. Number one, Fleury had a .905 save percentage this year. It's not like he had a fantastic year. That save percentage is in the bottom half of goalies in the league. Number two, Pete DeBoer, as his job, is to put the guy in the net that he thinks gives them the best chance to win on a particular night. The stabbing in the back, DeBoer has no history with Marc-Andre Fleury. None. Until he showed up in Vegas. And then I'm sure, like everybody else, he likes him. How would you not? It seems like Fleury's a terrific guy. But Walsh is, by this tweet, which, by the way, it's not just a tweet. He actually had to go Photoshop the thing, and he got to put some work in to get that finished product. And he created something that just is of no use to anyone. It doesn't defend his client. It doesn't pressure Vegas at all. What's Vegas going to do right now? They can't trade him. They're in the playoffs. They can't do anything. He's going to sit there. Well, I got an idea. Why not call up George McPhee and Kelly McCrimmon and say, hey, guys, we're not happy. Mark's not happy. I want you to know that, but by the end of this year, by the end of these playoffs, we need to address this. He's not going to come back and be the backup next year, if that's what you feel. And then in Game 1, Leonard plays great. He plays Game 2. If he pooped the bed last night, well, then he probably would have played Game 2, and if he struggled, Fleury would be in for Game 3. Right. We've seen it before. It happens all the time. But you put Fleury in a no-win situation. I was surprised that he didn't more vehemently say, hey, look, I had nothing to do with that. I've called Allan and told him to take that tweet down, and I'm sorry that came out. Doesn't have to fire him. I mean, they have a long history together. He's negotiated tens of millions of dollars of contracts with him. He's a good agent. He's a smart guy.
And I said, Ray, at the first segment, for him to ignore the questions, did you know about the tweet or know it was coming, and him deflecting those questions and not answering, that basically says that he was on board with it. Yeah,
I can't believe it either. I'm with you.
I don't understand.
I don't get it. What's the point, Noodles? What's the point of this? How did that, in any way, shape, or form, help Fleury? Do you think Pete DeBoer was, when he first heard of that, said, gee, I better switch from Leonard to Fleury for Game 1?
Not
at all. Not at all. And I don't, I said this to Owen Bryan last hour, this is still playing out. You just laid out a scenario. Robin Lehner has a shutout last night. If Vancouver gets to him and he's terrible, maybe Flower comes in or is in Game 3. Like, this hasn't played out. This isn't at the end of the playoffs, and you feel like, the coach could have gone to him, and he didn't because, for some reason. This is going into the second round of the playoffs. You're in a bubble, and you're a cup favorite. You're one of the best teams in the bubble. Like, it's a giant distraction. It really looks poor on that whole camp. Wherever you want to lay the blame. If Fleury knew about it, if Allan just didn't care, and he's a passionate guy, but it looks poorly on them. And I just don't understand the timing of it. That's what frustrates me.
Well, and clearly it didn't bother Vegas because they put their steamroller out last night.
Yeah.
And, it's not even a topic anymore because Leonard, he didn't have anything to do. No disrespect, Noodles. You would have had a shutout last night. Yeah. You're 50 years old almost, man. It's like you would have stopped it. Like, he never did he make any really good saves? Couple, maybe?
No, a couple in tight. Honest to God, you're right. Like, I think he even tweeted out, like, I think his nickname's the Panda, and the Panda was, like, in a tree or something, like, basically watching his team go to work. Like, he was in a lawn chair last night. Yeah, he was in a lawn chair.
He's playing Game 2. He could now, because of the way Game 1 went, Leonard could play terribly in Game 2. He's starting Game 3.
So
you're not helping your client this way.
So let's circle back on the Canucks. I asked this question about the Leafs. What's it going to look like for them to get to their game against Columbus? What does it look like for Vancouver getting to their game against Vegas?
Couple of things. One, Roussell's nonsense last night.
Oh, God.
It's so misguided. I get what he's trying to do.
You're just
but he's
feeding
on an
the
island.
monster, though.
Yeah, but he's on an island. Like, the Canucks don't have guys like that. He's out there and getting punched in the face. Nobody else is out there. Like, they don't have that team. Like, I would tell him, hey, just play physically, stop at the whistle, and just play. We don't need that. Like, the sideshow, man, Reeves and Carrier will run around all night and get 20 hits. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. So just leave that part of the game alone. That's one part. Number two is they've got to forecheck somehow. Get the puck deep and forecheck a bit. And the reason I say that is because if they don't kill Vegas's exits out of the zone, man, they look like they got shot out of a cannon all night. Like, from the very first period, they were just flying out of their zone in through the neutral zone. And one of the reasons I like to say, like, they've got a forecheck is that gives, when they finally get out of their zone and they chip it in, that gives your D a second to get back and not get their face plastered into the glass, so you can turn and get out of the zone and you can break out. Because they were, I don't know, by early second period, they were like punters. Like, they'd go back, get the puck, and flip it way up in the air and just try to get it out of there.
Yeah,
like,
I felt bad for Tanev and Edler. They both should have taken their gear off early. They had a rough night.
Almost last night.
They just got chewed alive.
Well,
and
which goal
it's
was
not
it?
all.
Was it Noodles? Was it Riley Smith's goal? Was the rebound?
Yeah, the first one. The first one where Tanev's trying to play goal at the top of the crease, and he makes a right pad save.
And Edler's standing over there on the other side, and you're like, the two of them are like, I don't know. They had there wasn't anybody I think Vancouver can look at and say, yeah, that guy played well.
Yeah,
they got steamrolled.
Which might be a positive for them. Like, hey, we lost, but it's not like we played well. Like, it's one game, and we can hopefully recover, and they're going to have to quickly because that Vegas team is loaded. And as I'm watching them in the bubble and a bit of the game last night, Mark Stone is a guy that we talked about a lot. We focused on a lot because he played down the road. He was in Toronto a couple times a year. But because he's just not a great skater and he looks a little bit different, and he's just got a different vibe to him. He's almost tough to rank appropriately, right? Like, it's like
both of these two, Bri, they've watched him on ice level and they know how damn good that guy is.
I would take that guy. I would take him on my team. He is one of the most competitive players I've seen in today's NHL.
So where does he rank then? Like, if we're doing the top 50 today, he's in the top 50, but is he in the top 30?
No.
No. I agree with all.
You're right. He's not, but maybe he should be. The takeaways, if he has a good season, I think the one year he had 67 points, close to 70 points, did he not? I thought he had he signed a big deal. Like, this is the guy, his game is almost built for the playoffs. It's heavy.
That's right.
He's great in his own zone. He's competitive. He drags guys into it. It's not about fighting, but man, is he involved in everything when he's on the ice. Like, he's a gamer. That's what I love about Mark Stone. He's a gamer.
Mark Stone plays on any team in their top two lines in the league. I think.
Yeah.
I like him because he always looks like he got dressed in a hurry. Like his hair is kind of all over the place. His helmet's all a little bit crooked. He's always seems to, he like drops a glove or drops a stick. I love the guy. I love the way he plays. I love the way he competes. He's so smart. He's got good hands. Man, any player would love to play with somebody like Stone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like he can pass, he can shoot it. His skating looks like sometimes he's still got the boxes on his skates, but he gets to where he's going. Like, he's not slow. It just doesn't look smooth. He's not graceful like McDavid or powerful like McKinnon, but man, he gets where he needs to go.
Yeah, he does.
He's certainly as good a skater as Patrice Bergeron.
Yeah, and
Bergeron seems to get where he's going.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a great stick. Like, his stick, he knocks pucks down. He's heavy on it. Like, he turns pucks over. Like, he's a really good player. There's no weakness to his game. You're right, Ray. Like, skating, I think, even when we watch him, was he not in Edmonton at the World Juniors? Wasn't he on that team? Yeah, like
he was. He reminded me. Sorry, Jamie. He reminded me of Tim Kerr at that tournament. He stood in the slot, and like nobody could get him out of there. And in one game he got 4, and another game he got 2, and I'm like, man, this guy's pretty good. I don't know how he skates, and then, well, it's kind of not a problem.
Yeah, he's there. He made it.
Great player.
He's really, really good. Vancouver, they got their hands full. And then you look at the game that got things started on the eastern side of things with Boston getting past Tampa, and it was a close game. And I think Tampa should be pretty happy with their overall effort. But Boston just continues to plug along. I mean, I got to give them full credit. I didn't know what to expect out of them coming in because of their age, because of the layoff. They didn't look good in the play-in round. They finished 4th in the play-in round. Yeah. And yet they look like they're getting closer to that team we saw the first 70 games of the year.
The one guy there for me, I think he's so key for them, and he's one of the better players in the league that I never think about, and that's David Krejci.
Krejci, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Like, I never think about him I don't know why, but about being a creator of offense. Now he's older and he's had injury problems and he doesn't quite go as fast. But man, is he good! Like when they had that power play out there, like that, that's just crazy how well they move the puck. Those guys, they've all been together forever, and zip, zip, zip. That thing's in the back of the net, and maybe the guy. There's something for the off season is the guy that runs the quarterback is Krug.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Oh man, he's gonna make a lot of money
too. Like that's if the Leafs could afford him. That's all I could think about last night is Torrey Krug is a left-handed shot that plays the right side, and he's mean. He's got a great shot. He runs the power play. Like he's everything that I think the Leafs would be looking for on the right side. Unfortunately, he's going to make a lot of money. A lot.
Yeah, he's going to have a few teams. Flat cap or not, he's going to have a few teams that are going to be good teams banging at his door.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, buddy. Well, we'll see about the games tonight, and we'll break it all down tomorrow at 5:05.
Yeah, go clean off your driver.
That's the plan. It's actually been wrapped around a tree, so don't worry about it. I have to buy a new one.